The Chicago PD Season 12 premiere, titled 1099, opens with Hank Voight in the spotlight, once again delving into his personal struggles and his complex relationship with the law. This premiere is a continuation of themes that have become overly familiar to longtime fans: Voight's inner demons, his tendency to skirt the boundaries of legality, and his struggle to process trauma. While Chicago PD has consistently relied on its intense and gritty take on law enforcement, this episode reveals the show's need for a creative shakeup after 12 seasons. Voight-centric focus once again dominates. Since the beginning, Chicago PD has alternated between a team ensemble dynamic and centering its narrative around Voight. This season premiere leans heavily into the latter, with Voight dealing with the aftermath of his near-death experience in the season 11 finale, where he was kidnapped and almost killed by a serial killer. 1099 picks up over a month later, showcasing Voight's attempt to cope by drowning himself in work, ignoring his personal wounds and pushing himself to the limit. The episode opens with a montage of Voight changing clothes in his office and taking one case after another, hinting at his obsessive need to stay on the job. His work addiction and reckless behavior signal that he is far from healed, but what follows feels like a retread of past plotlines. Voight forms a loose connection with a witness named Rabbit during the investigation of a triple homicide, but the episode quickly moves into familiar territory, Voight breaking the rules, acting without his team's full involvement, and being confronted for his actions. While Chicago PD has often excelled at exploring Voight's moral ambiguity, 1099 feels like more of the same. Voight's relationship with the law, his unchecked power, and his tendency to go rogue have been central to the show since the beginning. However, after so many seasons, it's clear that these themes need to be expanded or evolved. There's little new in this episode's portrayal of Voight's internal conflict, and the writers missed the chance to offer deeper character development. Even the emotional confrontation between Voight and Assistant State's Attorney Chapman falls flat, offering no new revelations or significant growth. Lack of team dynamics and character development. What's notably absent in the Season 12 premiere is the team dynamic that has often balanced Voight's character. While Chicago PD has centered Voight as the heart of the intelligence unit, the show is at its best when it explores the entire team's relationships and development. This premiere, however, underutilizes key characters and leaves most of the intelligence unit in the background. The departure of Haley Upton at the end of Season 11 is barely touched upon, with no real explanation of her current whereabouts, which is frustrating for fans hoping for some closure or insight. Her exit, which was a significant plot point last season, feels glossed over, and any emotional impact from her resignation is muted by the focus on Voight. The absence of Tracy Spiridakos, who played Upton, is deeply felt, and the lack of follow-up on her storyline adds to the sense of disconnect in the premiere. Beyond Upton, other team members like Kim Burgess, Kevin Atwater, and Adam Ruzek also receive minimal screen time. Their potential career advancements are hinted at, particularly with mentions of Burgess moving up the ranks, but these moments are fleeting. Instead of furthering their arcs, the episode largely sidelines them in favor of Voight's personal drama. After 12 seasons, fans want to see the rest of the intelligence unit grow and evolve, not just serve as background characters to Voight's storylines. Stale plotlines highlight the need for change. 1099 suffers from a plot that feels recycled. Voight's ongoing battle with his personal trauma, his disregard for procedure, and his willingness to bend, or break, the rules have all been explored repeatedly. In past seasons, episodes like Season 11's Survival have managed to delve into Voight's vulnerabilities in a nuanced and compelling way. In contrast, the Season 12 premiere feels less thoughtful, as if the writers are simply repeating old plot beats. The premiere's case of the week, involving a triple murder, serves more as a backdrop for Voight's emotional turmoil than as a significant storyline in itself. The investigation lacks the depth or complexity that the show is capable of, and the episode doesn't seem to have a clear thematic direction. The case feels secondary, more of a vehicle for Voight's brooding than a compelling crime story in its own right. Voight's methods, once again legally questionable, don't add anything new to his character. His rogue approach to solving cases, while entertaining in earlier seasons, has become predictable. Even his relationship with Rabbit, which initially shows promise as a window into his softer side, ultimately doesn't break new ground. The entire episode feels like it's spinning its wheels, treading familiar territory without offering anything fresh. Hints of a potential revival. Despite its shortcomings, the Season 12 premiere does hint at possible changes on the horizon. The introduction of new characters, including the highly anticipated arrival of Toya Turner, offers some hope for fresh dynamics within the intelligence unit. Turner's character is set to bring a new perspective, and her role as a replacement for Upton could challenge the team's existing relationships. Additionally, Sean Hatosi's casting as a potential new foil for Voight may inject some much-needed tension into the season. Furthermore, the mention of Burgess potentially advancing her career suggests that the writers might finally start giving the other team members more focus. After 12 seasons, the intelligence unit's progression feels long overdue, and the show could benefit from exploring how these characters grow individually and professionally. Final thoughts. The Chicago PD Season 12 premiere, 1099, is a clear signal that the show needs to evolve. While Voight's character has always been central to the series, relying too heavily on the same plotlines and character beats has caused the narrative to feel stagnant. This premiere, with its lack of team dynamics and underdeveloped storylines, highlights the need for a creative shakeup. The hints of change with new cast members and the potential for character advancement offer some hope for the season ahead, but for Chicago PD to truly thrive in its 12th season, it must break free of its old patterns. Audiences want to see the intelligence unit evolve, with more focus on its members' individual journeys and less reliance on Voight's tired internal struggles. Chicago PD airs Wednesdays at 10 p.m. on NBC.